Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of TED Excellence, the show in which I learn how to clean my room for great justice. Apparently. And I come to you live from my Corona bunker on the moon with Dog Cat Fox, a Pepperjack, and all of you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to Thursday. Wonderful, terrible, almost to the weekend Thursday. Hope you're all doing well. It's been a busy day for me, work-wise. Nothing exciting to tell you about. Also, just a real quick self-promotional thing. I decided to start a Substack, which is all the rage lately. What's a Substack, you say? Well, it's basically just a blog you can subscribe to. And the link to that is in the description below. Specifically, the one that I've created, at least at the beginning, is called Curriculum of Fear, if you can believe it. I decided that certain things that I come across in some of the videos that I watch deserve a bit more highlighting and broadcasting, I guess, especially with what happened with the University of Wisconsin thing I did a couple of weekends ago now. So if you're curious at all about what I have to say about that, if you weren't there for the stream itself, there's a link to my Substack in the description, so you can subscribe there. It's free. I don't have it. I think they have paid subscriptions you can set up or something, but I don't plan on doing that unless like 1,000 people join up. Then I might say, hey, for a quarter or something. I'm not going to spam your inbox or something. This is not going to be a regular thing, but it is something that I just needed something to give myself an excuse to write more. I used to write a lot more than I do now. And so I thought, well, this will give me some motivation to do so. So that's that. There's my little self-promotion for the moment. Thank you, Attack Alpaca, for the big, happy, smiley Dog Cat Fox. Oh, Dog Cat Fox.
Wowie, wow.
Oh, Dog Cat Fox, brought to you by P-Dog Cat Fox. Sort of, kind of. But thank you, Attack Alpaca. Anyway, with all that self-promotion out of the way, let me promote some other selves, like, who's here joining me this evening? Noah Asensio, hello. Matt Barnes, hello. Jaeger Pony, hello. Keeverdam, hello. Sarah Chapman, hello. Fucking Kunt, hello. Who else is here? Anybody else here? Shell D, hello. And then chat jump, because of course it's Zeke Weiss, hello. Mike R, hello. Attack Alpaca, of course, hello. Who else? Non-Vitae Rex, hello. Jamie Melquist, hello. Hope your head's feeling better. Bridget, hello. Swirl Blue, hello. Resolute Germ, hello. Jonathan Peterson, hello. Tall Person, hello. And Cannibalistic Wizard, hello. Simon Willikins, hello. No Name, hello. And if I missed anybody, I apologize, but I think I caught everybody that I see. And I'll catch a couple more as things go on, I'm sure. But anyway, good evening. So what do we have on deck for this evening? Well, it's again one of those things where the title kind of caught me. Advancing Women by Redistributing the Housework One Son at a Time. And when I read that title, this is the scenario that popped into my head. It's like, Billy, I need you to go mow the lawn. Aw, Mom, I don't want to. I have video games to play. Now I'll never get that PhD. Like something like that. Like women can't advance unless we... I don't know. I don't know. I'm looking forward to finding out. Now, one editorial note. The sound quality on the speaker's vocals is a little staticky. I don't know. It's something that they did, I think, in post-processing, or it's how they recorded the sound. I don't know. I tried to soften everything a bit, but it's still, yeah. So I think we'll do fine. I think we'll do okay. If it's too loud on the broadcast, it starts getting on your nerves or something, just let me know and I'll try to turn it down a little bit. But I think we'll get through it together. And holy cats, or holy Keeverdams. Keeverdam, I sent you a super chat yesterday and posted the GoFundMe's in the chat. Did you send me a super chat? Oh, I mean, yesterday, like before the stream? Oh, I didn't see that. Well, thank you for that. And thank you for this. And yeah, the GoFundMe's. You think I have all this down by now? I'm a professional, don't you know? Yes, if you would, direct your attention to the top of the chat box to the GoFundMes for our friends Shady Grin, Angry Illinoisian, and his kitten. They, their friends, and family could certainly use your help. If you have a couple of bucks to spare, appreciate that, if you do. And Keeverdam, that is ridiculously generous of you, and thank you so much. Thank you again. Let's see a couple more hellos here. Tier Alexander, the Invictus Soul, hello. Plexi Mads is here. Now we can start. Hello. Raziel, dos vidania. Or whatever the proper greeting is. I know a little Russian. Maybe Raziel will have to correct me if I get it all wrong. The Hochis Yabluchny Pirojok Grajdanin or Grajdanka, depending on if you're talking to a male or a female. What did I say? From what I'm told, I said, would you like an apple cake, friend or citizen or something? So there's your language lesson for the evening. Anyway, our presentation clocks in at just over 14 minutes. So this is Lisa Kaplowitz, finance professor and gender advocate. I advocate for genders, all two of them. Anyway, with all that being said, I'll start off with a few seconds for a sound test. You guys tell me if you can hear it, and then we will proceed.
Every 2 minutes. A child asks for mom every 2 minutes.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about? There's a little squawky. I think it tapers off eventually, but at least, like I said, I haven't listened to this. I only listened to enough to adjust the sound on the audio track. So hopefully it doesn't continue like that. If it gets really bad for some reason, I don't know what I'll do. But let's just try to grin and bear it. Grin and bear it.
Mom, what's for dinner? Mom, when's my friend coming? Mom, where's my jacket? Mom, how do I do this math problem?
Yes, the trials and tribulations of being a parent. Yes. Uh-huh.
Why is it that children go to mom 82% of the time?
Because dad's working. Dad's working, or I don't know. Maybe most kids have a stronger connection to their mothers since conceivably you raised them, spent more time with them. I don't know. You tell me. You're the gender advocate.
Because when they go to dad, he says, I don't know, go ask your mother.
Womp womp. Yeah, okay. You're going to tell us that gender stereotypes are bad, right?
But what if this next generation of dads could actually answer the questions his children ask?
Oh, what if dads were capable? Oh my gosh, because every generation of fathers prior to this are just a bunch of dundernuts. They don't know anything. But only if maybe, just maybe, this next generation could know stuff. Dads can't be expected to know things or raise their children. Let's go to the bingo card. Bingo card B, by the way, I forgot to mention. Links to the bingo cards are in the description below. What's on the bingo card? Let's go over this real quick. Anecdote that probably never happened. Self-vilification or wretchedness. Systemic institutional. Weightless example. Word salad? Not yet. Leaves out vital context. Collectivizes own demographic? I think she might. White supremacy? Nope, not yet. A list? No. Privilege? No. Sales pitch for product or service? No. Plays victim? I'm thinking maybe she just did a little bit. I don't know about you, but I think maybe she did just a little bit there. I might be a little biased. We'll wait and see. Let's see. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase, not yet. Wage gap, no. Patriarchy, might get there. Feminism, probably get there. Mind reading assumes motives. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Marginalize, marginalization. Argumentative, non sequitur. Childhood or family anecdote. Was she talking about her family, or was she talking about rhetorically or hypothetically? I'll wait. Contradicts on point or argument. Benevolent condescension. Yeah, I'm going to circle that one. I think I was just benevolently condescended to. Not that I'm of the next generation of fathers necessarily, but I'm not yet a father. But heaven forfend, right? Okay, so circling benevolent condescension and free space. And lastly, microaggressions, unconscious bias. Not yet, so we'll see what she has to say. Thank you, Matt Barnes, because mom is more nurturing. My boys both would ask my wife for stuff with me sitting right next to her. Yeah. Now, does that mean that your father was incapable of answering those questions necessarily? No. I mean, if you want to have a question answered for math, statistically speaking, you probably find it with a man. More technically inclined, I'm told. But who knows? Anyway, so our speaker's starting out saying, all past generations of men who try to raise children just don't know anything. It's about knowledge. It's not about instinct. All right.
And what if this next generation of men also did as much of the cooking and cleaning as women?
Well, you should have been at my house. You should have been at my house. I don't know. I don't know. I'm feeling so good about this lady so far.
Imagine the impact that redistributing the housework and the childcare could have on working women.
Imagine all the women taking out the trash. Let's see. Kieverdam, thank you again. Which bingo card again? B. B as in boy. Boys will be bingo cards. There you go. Ebony Williams, hello. Didn't see you there. Good evening. All right, advancing women by redistributing the housework one son at a time. Yes, the current crop of men are a lost cause, everyone. The only chance we have is to make the next generation better.
I think about this a lot.
Well, you're on a stage, so I assume so.
Both personally and professionally.
Ah.
And I believe a key to advancing women in the workforce begins at home.
Wow. Okay. I'm, you know what? I'm going to circle feminism. Because if not explicitly yet, certainly by implication.
Now, I'm approaching this from 3 different vantage points.
Oh, a list! Oh my gosh, already? Boy, oh boy. All right, so far on the card I have a list, free space, feminism, and benevolent condescension. Holy cow, we're only 2 squares away from a bingo already.
First, I'm a mom. I have 2 teenage sons and a partner at home who can theoretically share in those household responsibilities.
A partner who can theoretically share. Okay, childhood or family anecdote, circling that one. Oh boy, we are off to the races already. Partner, so it's not a husband? Theoretically, what?
However, at the start of the pandemic, when we were all remote, there were only cries for mom in our house. And they were definitely more than every 2 minutes.
So is this entire presentation basically fueled by spite and vindictiveness over being the preferred parent for support? Is this just some kind of like convoluted way of saying, kids, leave me alone, I need mommy time?
Second, I'm a mom who works. And I'm not alone. In fact, pre-pandemic, almost 3/4 of mothers in the U.S. were working. Like many, I've experienced the additional challenges and biases that women face throughout their careers.
Ooh, let's see. Collectivize his own demographic. Circling that one. Biases, you say. Will you describe some of those? Would some of them be unconscious by any chance? I guess we'll find out. Thank you, Matt Barnes. I feel like she's being exclusive. I've heard nothing of people who give birth yet. Transphobia? Perhaps. Oh, boy. Okay. Yeah, so 3/4 of women are working. So it's not a unique situation. Okay.
How many of you have been the only one who looks like you in that room?
Are you seriously the only one who looks like you? Well, okay. Well, how granular are we getting here? Just female, or are we talking race, or what? Because usually I hear that argument with like racial arguments, like I was the only one of my kind in the room, that kind of thing. What has that got to do with anything?
Or been asked to get the coffee or take the notes when in fact you were the one leading that meeting?
Oh my God, can you believe being assumed to be in a particular role in society? Yeah, that's terrible. That really is terrible, to have your gender just completely undercut by someone's assumption of your capabilities and your place in the world. By the way, let me tell you about all previous generations of men being unable to raise the children. Jesus.
When I started my career as an investment banker, only 10% of my analyst class looked like me.
Oh, gosh, that was just terrible for you, you sexist. And I think Ebony Williams, the music is a good touch. Yeah, apparently they implemented this thing back in February. And this is weird. Now, I'm not going to take credit for it. But last year, I was invited into a private Zoom call with like the CEO of StreamYard for sort of a survey review thing. And one of the things I mentioned was, hey, it'd be really cool if StreamYard had like the option to play some music track underneath the broadcast. And he's like, yeah, okay, that's a good idea. So I can't take credit, but I'm sure I was at least one of several that voted for it. But anyway, they implemented this back in February. I had no idea it was there. It's apparently been sitting there like below the fold for a couple of months. And I just happened to scroll down a week or two ago and see it. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I think the music helps. And I tried to find a nice jazzy piano track, something soothing to go along with this madness. Anyway, tell me more about your investment banking and loving of seeing other women.
And I was the only woman in my industry group who was not an administrative assistant. Years later, when I was walking through the valuation of our company during our next funding round, a venture capitalist stopped me and said, "You don't look like a CFO."
What do we think, guys? Do you think that really happened? Is that an anecdote that actually happened? Let's consider that one for a second.
Seriously?
Seriously?
What's a CFO supposed to look like?
I don't know.
Third, I'm an advocate for women and gender equality.
You are? Are you sure about that? But that last part particularly, gender equality? Are you get out the John Cena meme. Are you sure about that? Okay. Let's see. What do we got in the chat in regards to her anecdote? We got an X to doubt from Falcon. What else we got? X to doubt from Lexi Mads. X to doubt from Tier Alexander. X to doubt from Zeke Weiss. Raziel is being weird and saying why. Why? Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. Yeah, I don't quite believe that either. In this day and age, I don't believe that. You don't look like a CFO. So circling anecdote that probably never happened.
As a 17-year-old Division I athlete at Brown University,
what?
I signed on to what would become a landmark Title IX case.
Wow, just name dropping all of your accomplishments. Yeah, you're so cool. But you're an investment banker, and you're an athlete, and you're a mom, and boy, you just do it all. Wow. Okay. So let me ask you something. Since the whole basis of this presentation is, an unequal measure of household work, and at least so far, at least anecdotally speaking, you described your own household and child-to-parent dynamic as being one that is too burdensome upon you. How have you exactly succeeded so much? I mean, did you redistribute the housework a long time ago? Is it just something that came up now? I mean, you've done all of these things, and it doesn't sound like a, burden of housework has kept you down, unless you've got something else you want to tell us. Thank you, Kiefer Dam. Again, you should sometimes create polls for these questionable anecdotes. Also, plays victim. Yeah, you know what? You're right on the plays victim part. I don't know. Can I run a poll in the middle of chat? See, here's the thing. I still don't know all the things I could possibly do during the course of the broadcast. So can I actually run a poll in the chat or something? I don't know. That is my phone. Hey, it's Sister Scribe. Hey, Sister Scribe. I am on the air. Would you like to say hello to all the people? Oh, no, wait. I got to put you up to the microphone. Hold on a second. Hold on. All right, go ahead.
Hello, people.
Yes, that is Sister Scribe calling in the middle of the show. Did you want to talk to me about this weekend by any chance?
No.
Oh, okay. It's something else?
Yeah, but I'll talk to you about it later.
Okay. No one is either dead or injured, yes?
No.
Okay.
It's cool stuff we've talked about, but nothing we're going to talk about on the air.
Okay. Well then, it was nice to talk to you, Sister Scribe, and say bye to all the nice people.
Bye.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Love you. Bye. Now, there you go. Sister Scribe on the air. All right, where was I? Yes, plays victim, circling plays victim. Thank you again, Keeverdam. So let's see. So far on the card, we're almost at a bingo already. Anecdote that probably never happened, collectivizes own demographic, a list, plays victim, free space, feminism, childhood or family anecdote, and benevolent condescension. Anyway, I forgot where I was in my snarkiness, so I'll just continue.
Setting a precedent nationwide and creating more opportunities for girls and women to play sports.
What does that have to do with redistribution of housework?
It was here that I found my voice and the conviction to fight for what is right.
All right. Well, what do you think is right?
I am now a finance professor at Rutgers Business School, and I love educating this next generation of talent.
Any particular kind of talent? Do you have a preference by any chance? If you look across your classroom, do you take count of how many people look like you by any chance?
I also co-founded and lead the Rutgers Center for Women in Business.
Oh.
We remove barriers, build community, and empower women.
Wow. Oh, yeah. And you're for gender equality. Yes. Okay. All right.
Through our research and educational programming, we elevate mid-career women, support intersecting identities, and explore actionable male allyship.
Oh, actionable male allyship, because male allies are obviously by default either neutral or enemies. Yes. Okay. All right.
And here is when my personal and professional worlds converged.
Ooh, okay. This is what it's like when worlds collide?
We founded the Rutgers Center for Women in Business in December 2019.
Okay.
And a couple months later, early March 2020, I remember sharing concerns with friends and colleagues about the negative impact that lockdowns and virtual learning were going to have on women.
Yes, asteroid hurtling towards Earth, women most affected.
Because women were going to end up assuming we feared even more responsibility at home.
Really? Okay, mind reading assumes motives. Circle in that one. Boy, oh boy. All right.
And we were right.
Were you? I don't know. What does that mean? Assume more responsibilities.
The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the inequitable division of household responsibilities, causing 3 million women to leave the workforce.
Wait. That's almost like one of those I shot an elephant in my pajamas kind of things. Okay, so wait. The distribution of household work caused women to leave the workforce. Right? It wasn't that businesses were shutting down. It's not that, the economy was tanking at the time. It's not that people were forced to stay home. I'm going to back up and play that one more time just for my own edification, if nothing else.
The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the inequitable division of household responsibilities, causing 3 million women to leave the workforce.
Billy, you haven't cleaned up your room. Guess I'll have to end my career now. Okay, by all means, explain this one.
Wiping away years of progress and setting women's employment participation to 1980s levels.
What happened to men in that same time period? What happened to men's employment? Are you going? I mean, if you're for gender equality, then you're also presumably for looking at both genders equitably. Yes? I'd just be curious to know. I don't know. I don't know these things. That's why I rely on experts like our speaker.
Yeah. 1980s levels. And that's not all.
Oh, okay.
According to McKinsey's 2021 Women in Work survey.
Oh, yes. McKinsey, always a very, very reliable and unbiased source of information.
Another 1 in 3 women are considering downsizing or leaving the workforce entirely.
Those stupid women ruining it for the rest of women.
The bottom line, women are burned out.
Will somebody please think of the women making decisions for themselves? I guess.
Something has to change.
Okay, what has to change?
Those early pandemic conversations inspired our first research project at the center.
Okay.
We analyzed the division between housework and childcare among heterosexual couples during the pandemic.
That is some kind of phobic right there.
And like other researchers, we discovered that women were doing significantly more at home than men.
Is it because, on average, most women spend more time at home raising the family and men are out working? Is that a product of sexism, or is that just a product of how the dynamics between the genders classically work? I wonder if she'll answer that question.
However, we found that gap was narrowing slightly in some cases. In addition, invisible labor was now visible. And men in particular were realizing it takes a lot of time and work to run a household.
Yeah, because, men just, as everybody in the audience knows, a man gets up in the morning, showers, shaves, dresses, leaves the house. And when he comes home, his understanding of reality is that the house just cleans itself, right? The wife just snaps her fingers and everything's done. Because the man going out to work for the day, oftentimes in a job that requires manual labor or some other kind of organizational attributes, has no idea how managing space works. And leading up to being married, that same man has absolutely no idea how to tend to his own habitat. As we know, as our speaker is telling us, our gender equality advocate speaker.
Kids were interrupting dad's Zoom meetings. Workplaces were becoming kitchen tables with dirty dishes.
Jeffrey Toobin was being caught lubing himself on the camera.
There was no such thing as work-life balance or integration. At the center, we started calling it work-life overlap. Everything and everyone happening in the same place at the same time.
We started calling it, that sounds like new buzzword buzz phrase to me. So I'm going to circle, attempt to coin new buzzword buzz phrase. Oh boy. Gosh, guys, we got a lot of squares circled so far. Thank you, Matt Barnes. My wife, Corey, says most women actually want to raise their children, and women leaving the workforce is good for families. She says take it from a woman. Everybody is free to make the decisions they want to make, but there are certain patterns in life that are just fact. It's not a matter of being sexist. It's just how it works. It doesn't have to work the same way for everybody. And there are women who balance everything out and are the main breadwinners in the household and so on and so forth. So for her to effectively vilify anybody not making the decisions she wants them to, like women are choosing to drop out of the workforce. Oh, they're choosing, you say. Yeah. So, yeah, there are some ingrained instincts in most people, gender to gender, a sense of protecting those that can't protect themselves, both in men and women for their children. But men as providers, going out hunting the saber-toothed tigers and bringing home the skins, and the women raising the children and turning them into productive little adults. Yeah, it's stereotypical. It's sort of classic, old-fashioned maybe, but it's also true. Tira Alexander, Witchcraft Scribelight. It sounds like a skin on a video game or something. All women are witches and can clean with a snap. They just Thanos the dirty away. Or they just, wiggle their noses. Right? I mean, she's projecting the idea that all men believe that their wives are, what was her name? Was it Tabitha? I forget her name. What was the bewitched lady's name? I don't remember now. Anyway, yeah, they wiggle their noses and everything gets fixed by the time they get home from work. Yeah.
But we did find a silver lining among the couples that we analyzed. We found that the more men did at home, the more productive and satisfied women were in their paid work.
Right. So women need men to be more productive and satisfied. Well, now the satisfied part, it all depends on what you do with what you've got. But the productivity part, okay. All right. Okay. I think I'm getting something. Okay.
Let me say this again.
Oh, please do, because I couldn't understand you the first time because I'm obviously a man.
The more men did at home, meaning childcare and housework, the more productive women were in their paid work.
Okay. Great. Now, is this with both parents being at home at the same time or having the exact same work schedules or something? I mean, if the male in the situation is going off to work each day, how much time does he have over the course of the workday to provide childcare, housework, and otherwise until we get to the weekend? I'm just curious. And let's see. Wait. I'm reading the fine print back here, guys. Online survey of 1,500 plus working adults, including 920 living with something partner. Online survey, you say? Okay.
Seems obvious, right?
Uh-huh.
But now there's statistical data to prove it.
Statistical data? That proves it? Proves someone's feeling, satisfaction, and productivity. I'd love to know by what metrics you gained this data.
Around the same time, I decided to conduct another experiment.
Okay.
This one at home.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to see if we could get more equality in our own household. I knew that if we didn't create a new normal at the start of this pandemic, I was going to lose my mind.
How are you an investment banker? How are you a professor? If this thought only occurred to you at the time of the pandemic, which was at least the initiation thereof, which was not too long ago, how did you succeed in life prior to this moment? Again, if the distribution of housework was so burdensome for you up to this point, how are you so successful? Is it by any chance because you made certain choices for yourself and pursued those choices? Does it have nothing to do with the amount of housework? Maybe you're already managing your time prior. I don't know. I'm just curious, because if you're going to use yourself as the example, which you are right now, these are the questions that have to be asked.
And myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine what single parents or those with young kids were feeling and going through at this time.
Why? You've described a situation where you basically are a single parent. The man in the situation doesn't know the answer to anything, doesn't do any housework, so you're effectively a single parent, right? I mean, that's the scenario you've built for us so far.
I decided to leverage the skills I acquired as an executive and an educator, and I appointed myself CEO of the house.
Oh, okay. So it's not that you want to share responsibility with your partner. You're CEO. Interesting that you used the word partner earlier instead of husband or spouse or something. It said partner, and yet you're the CEO. You didn't work alongside your partner to come up with a plan of equality. You declared yourself the one in charge. I'm sensing a very particular dynamic going on here.
I knew this wouldn't reduce my mental load.
Oh.
But it would be a start.
Oh, okay. All right.
And as CEO of the house, the first thing I had to do was get buy-in. Especially because my husband and kids weren't exactly sold on this new role of mine.
Right. So you were going to have to order them around. Equality. Oh, and at least you called your husband this time and not your partner. I always see, whenever I hear someone say partner, I'm thinking that they're like, an unmarried, spouse, essentially. I don't know why people switch back and forth between those two words. If maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just old fashioned like that.
So I gathered the team the first Saturday of quarantine to lay out a plan together.
Together, to lay out a plan together. You commanded them to lay out a plan. Okay.
And to manage expectations.
Okay.
Really meaning, do not expect me, Mom, to do everything.
That seems to be the general theme of this entire presentation so far, is that you're fed up with your role as a mother in your household. Okay. Now, let me make something clear. I am not saying that mothers and the female of the household should take on all responsibilities. That's certainly not how it worked in my house when I was growing up. I had my chores to do. I had to get my stuff done, keep my room clean, mow the lawn, the whole 9 yards. Everybody had their bit, right? So it wasn't like Mom was doing everything. Now, my mother, saint as she is, and she still is, she would, on reflex, generally go to the mats, as it were, in cleaning stuff up. That was just her. You might call it OCD, you might call it ingrained, I don't know. Either way, that was how she operated. And so I didn't get in her way, right? So she did her stuff, and I took care of my stuff. I was responsible for my space, everybody else was responsible for theirs. So I have some idea of what everybody having their bit to play in the household is. So there is some truth and there is some logic to that. I don't think it's as rare a thing as our speaker is describing, though. I mean, you have your households out there where like somehow Mom is burdened with everything, but not often, I don't think. Thank you, Matt Barnes. My wife Corey says most women. Oh wait, sorry. That was the previous one, and chat froze on me over on StreamYard. Let me try that again. Thank you, Matt Barnes. This time, I don't feel sorry for her. I grew up on a dairy farm. I worked the farm with Gramp and Dad and had to clean my room and do household chores with Mom as well. That was in the 80s. Yeah, in my house, I had to take care of my stuff. My father was, let's see, very unyielding when it came to the expectations of what I and my sister were responsible for in the course of a given week, a given day. So, yeah, maybe I'm a rare breed. I don't know. I didn't grow up on a farm. I can only imagine everything that has to go on a farm when you have to get up at crack of dawn and, feed the chickens and water the pigs and whatever the hell else you guys do. But, yeah. So I don't know. I guess I'd be curious to know what our speaker's personal growing up situation was. Like, not now with her being a mother, but like when she was growing up, what was the dynamic like in her own household? Did that somehow inform her perspective on where her role was supposed to be or where the people in the household's roles were when it came to household responsibilities? I'd be curious to know. I wonder if she'll tell us.
So we created a dinner rotation with each of us doing dishes one night and dinner the next. And we quickly discovered that our kids can actually cook.
Okay, I can't tell how old her kids are there. They look, 13, 14-ish. So you're telling me that prior to the pandemic, this had never occurred to you? Because I had to clean we had a similar thing. I had to clean the table, do the dishes, occasionally I have to do the laundry. And I think I was like 10 or 11 when that started, kind of thing, But okay, this suddenly occurs to you to divide up certain household responsibilities day to day. All right.
And they're pretty good at it. And they like it. We also decided together to do the heavy cleaning on Saturday and Sunday beginning at 10:30 for an hour. I gave them fancy titles like Director of Toilets, Director of Floors, and Vice President of Kitchens.
I want you all to look upon this face for a moment. Look upon that forced wooden smile. What do you think? Is this a happy man? Yes, gender equality. And you're the CEO of the household, and he's the VP of kitchens. You know what? I'm going to circle contradicts own pointer argument. There's just a general running theme here, running odor of hypocrisy going on. I'm just gonna circle that one.
Cool titles, right?
No, not really.
But we did have some setbacks.
Oh yeah?
We learned making beds, not a job to share with your brother.
Okay.
And there was some yelling and screaming and fighting at times, as you would expect, from two teenagers and a somewhat reluctant husband.
Sexist much? Okay, yeah, because if you had two daughters, they would never fight. They would never scream at each other. What planet are you on, lady? Okay. I'm checking out the cardigan real quick. Not the cardigan, not a sweater. The card again. Self-vilification or wretched? No, by no means. Systemic institutional. Yeah. Business world, household operations, and so on. Yeah, that's okay. Weightless example. I'm thinking of circling for people that looked like me thing. Like, what has that got to do with anything? In fact, I'm going to. That has nothing to do with anything about household work or whatever else. Word salad. I mean, I've understood everything she's said so far. It hasn't come out like blah, 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 so I'll wait on that. Leaves out vital context. Not so as I've noticed so far. Okay, so far I have circle on the card. Anecdote that probably never happened. Systemic institutional. Weightless example. Collectivizes own demographic. A list. Plays victim. Free space. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase. Feminism. Mind reading assumes motives. Childhood or family anecdote. Contradicts own pointer argument. And benevolent condescension. We are so close to several bingos. Oh my gosh. All right.
It got so bad at one point that there was talk of rebellion and strike. And they had unanimously voted to replace the CEO of the house, me, with a pet dog.
That's great. In my mind, I was about to say they replaced it with the cat or something, right? Well, the dog's fine too. What does this have to do with anything?
However, we worked through it. There is no COVID puppy.
What?
Mom is still here.
And
most importantly,
COVID puppy.
2 years later, I am still cooking dinner only once every 4 nights.
Oh my gosh, what an accomplishment. That's amazing. You are such a success story. It's amazing. Wow, you dictated to your family what they would do, and they did it. It's a wonder why you seem to defer to mom so much. Boy, and you seem to hate that earlier. Now it's like the tool you use so you don't have to cook more than one night a week or whatever. Okay, well, whatever. Were you waiting for applause? You are waiting for applause. I'm going to go back. You were waiting for applause, weren't you? That was an applause line in your mind.
Mom is still here.
Yeah.
And most importantly, 2 years later, I am still cooking dinner only once every 4 nights. Now, you might be asking, how does all of this relate to advancing women in the workforce?
You are absolutely right. Ding, 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 ding. I've been waiting 9 minutes or so for you to get to this point. Please make this all worthwhile.
It's simple.
Yes?
It comes down to how our society values time and responsibility differently for boys and girls.
Oh, values time and responsibility differently. Oh, you want to talk about responsibility? Okay. Tell me about responsibility, the assumed quotient thereof between the genders in this society. I can't wait for this assessment. Thank you again, Matt Barnes. COVID puppy is a dog that was adopted or bought during the pandemic and isn't socialized. I learned this just today. Oh, okay. I thought she misspoke and she meant to say CEO puppy instead of COVID puppy, so I didn't understand that. Okay, well, now I know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe.
Studies show that teenage girls spend 50% more time on chores than teenage boys.
Studies, what? Okay, wait, 50% more time. You care to quantify that? Because I can think of a couple of instances where that might not necessarily mean a heck of a lot. It could mean, and I know this is going to sound terrible, that girls are less efficient at their chores than boys are?
We are literally communicating to our children that A, a girl's time is not as valuable as a boy's.
What?
And B, it is the boy's responsibility, or it's the girl's responsibility, not the boy's, to take care of the home.
Again, I don't know what household dynamic you grew up in. I was responsible for my stuff, and my sister was responsible for hers. I ended up doing more physical labor as far as chores were concerned, because I was the one that had to mow the lawn. I was the one that had to rake everything up. Okay. I'm thinking, is that word salad? I'm thinking that might be a little bit word salad. I don't know. You guys tell me.
This is where that logic has gotten us to today.
Well, again, how are you a professor at Rutgers? How were you an investment banker? How did any of those things occur with the obvious burdens of household chores that were not rectified until just this last pandemic? You are your own worst example for this argument. Or don't you understand that? Okay. What does your husband do? Here's my question. What does your husband do? As compared to you, did she mention what her husband does? I don't know. But we know that our speaker is both an investment banker and a professor of finance or whatever at Rutgers University. Those are pretty prestigious, places to be in society these days, in American society, capitalist society, right? Okay. What does your husband do by comparison? I'd be curious to know. Where do either of you sit in the grand, social stratification of our country?
Pre-pandemic, women spent almost 40% more time on housework and childcare than men.
And why is that? What is the reason for that? Are you going to answer that question? Is it because, on average, more women spend more time at home than men do during the course of the weekday? Is it because that women work fewer hours than men and spend more time raising their families in the household? And is that something that they are being forced to do? Or is it a choice? And if you say it's being forced, then how are you where you are at in your own career right now?
And remember, 3/4 of women in the U.S. were working.
Working what? Full-time jobs or part-time jobs? Are you going to qualify that?
3/4 of mothers, excuse me.
Oh, 3/4 of mothers. Okay, mothers. All right, well, breaking it down by mothers. What kinds of jobs were those mothers holding? Were they full-time jobs or were they part-time jobs?
3/4 of mothers in the U.S. were working.
Yes. No, you keep having to, reconfigure your statement. That's fine. Still want to know, full-time or part-time?
For women to advance in the workforce, we need to redistribute the housework.
You keep saying that, but you haven't proven that it's got anything to do with nothing.
We need to redistribute the child care.
Okay, how? How do you propose this to take place? Okay, knowing what you know about the dynamics of general households across heterosexual couples across the U.S., how many hours a man works versus how many hours a woman works in the same household, how do you propose this take place?
Men, regardless of partner or parental status, need to do more at home. And companies and organizations need to create a culture where that is not only accepted, but more importantly, it is valued.
How? How do you propose for corporations and companies to instill in their employees that the men need to do more housework? How far into one's personal life and household are you proposing that one's employer reach to encourage and regulate their behavior? I understand I'm sounding a little sardonic here, but I'm being serious. I am curious to know the answer to that question.
And if I can put on my professor hat for a minute.
Oh, you mean you hadn't been having that on this whole time in front of the Rutgers University logo there that you're a professor at? Oh, okay.
I want to talk about the economic benefits.
Oh, okay.
According to McKinsey's research, by achieving best-in-class gender parity, global GDP could increase by $13 trillion in 2030.
Really? Could? Okay, I'm going to circle wage gap because that was more or less the same thing. And she's talking economics now. Could. $13 trillion. Wow, is that a guarantee? All right, what does gender parity look like? How do you affect that or encourage that to happen? How much of this requires women to be forced to do things beyond their own choice? You tell me.
However, the World Economic Forum reports...
Oh, the World Economic Forum? Oh, yeah, they're really popular these days.
That if we stay the course,
yeah,
it will take 136 years to close the global gender gap.
The global gender gap. I'm not sure if you're taking into account the vastly divergent social structures country to country across this planet. Do you have a solution for the gender gap in the Middle East by any chance? I'd love to know what you're proposing happen and how you would make that occur. The global gender. I thought we were talking about America. Oh, okay. You got a one-size-fits-all solution for the whole planet, do you?
That's too long.
Oh, is it? Well, you know what? Why? And what does gender parity look like? What are you talking about? Equality of outcome? How are you going to construct that? How are you going to manufacture that? What are your proposals towards that end? Again, I might be a little facetious here, but I am curious to know what she has to say on this subject. You think she'll do that in the next 3 minutes?
I'm a realist.
Oh, are you?
What? What is that? What the fuck is that?
You're a realist, are you? Oh, okay. You're a well, this is news to me. All right, tell me, realist. Since you just told us it's too long to wait, but if we did everything you haven't told us we need to do, we'd have $13 trillion more dollars. What are you realizing, realist?
I know it's going to take more than one household and a couple of research studies to change the underlying social norms that result in women doing more housework and childcare than men, regardless of who takes home the bigger paycheck.
Okay, I'm not being entirely facetious. I'd be curious to know if our speaker has looked at or been able to assess average household workload between the sexes from, say, before the sexual revolution of the late 50s, 60s into the 70s, right? And now. right? Because we had a big societal shift back then as far as the valuation of women in society and so on and so forth. Second wave feminism, which was the good feminism. Is there still a trend of women having or taking over most of the household responsibilities? And why might that be? She hasn't yet described what kind of work the working mothers are doing. She hasn't even begun to give us any kind of plan for how she would make these things change. She's got 2 minutes. Is she going to tell us how she would reshape society towards her ends?
Therefore, as CEO of the House, my call to action is this. For partners, I challenge you to not just help, but to share equally in the housework.
How? Partners? Why do you say partners? Why not husbands? Right? Okay, but we're talking about, you mean the males in the situation, right? We're talking about the males now. Okay. If we're talking about families, are you talking about just like a married couple, no kids? Are you talking about the, having 2 kids in the house, that kind of thing? What do you propose? If a man is working a full-time job and the mother is working a part-time job and staying at home most of the time, how do you propose that everything be split equally? Does the wife in the situation leave things undone over the course of the day for dad to come in and deal with when he gets home? Right? I mean, if you want to have a distribution of labor and everything else like you did in your own household, okay. But what do you propose? Just assigning work, like, okay, over the course of the week, here's what you're going to do. All right. Does dad get any kind of leeway for the fact that he has spent the last 9-10 hours commuting to work, working, and coming back again, while mom's been at home most of the time, and the kids are there too? What do you propose there?
And if you have kids, the child care as well.
How? Unless mom and dad are working opposite shifts over the course of the day, dad working the night shift, mom working the morning shift, and they both are working exact same times of day, and they're switching off, how is that supposed to work? Equal? Nothing's equal. Nothing's fair.
For parents, I challenge you to value your daughter's time as much as your son's.
Oh, yes, because as we know, most parents devalue their own kids based solely on their gender in this country as a societal cultural standard these days. I'd really, really like to know what the dynamic was in her household growing up.
Require your sons to cook and clean.
Oh.
So they know that housework is not just mom's work.
Okay, yeah, you're so innovative. I've never been required to clean anything growing up. It just never happened. I was just flying easy. Sister Scribe, I mean, heck, she practically had a duster attached to her hand her entire childhood. I mean, while I was sitting there watching television, she was just running around cleaning everything, and I did nothing. I was expected to do nothing. I have no work ethic whatsoever about anything. Taking care of my own space, taking care of my own self, a certain amount of pride in my own living space or self-pride in my appearance. No, I got none of that. None of that was instilled in me. Of course not. I was a boy. Why would you do that?
And that everyone's place is in the kitchen. I believe these 2 simple actions will empower women to be more productive and satisfied in their paid work.
Uh-huh. How are you where you are at? I mean, if you were bringing us a story of, before I redistributed the housework, I was a head cook at McDonald's. Now I'm a professor at Rutgers. It'd be a ridiculous example, but it would at least be an active example of what you're talking about. And oftentimes, I don't usually, address the speaker themselves in the course of the argumentation unless they make themselves part of their argument. And our speaker has done that. So again, I have to ask, as a broken record as I am, how is it possible that you are where you are at in life if it only occurred to you to divvy up the household work 3 years ago?
We found this to be true in our research. And I even found it in my own home.
How are you more productive? Describe the benefits in your own life since this change happened.
As this next generation enters the workforce and starts their own families, my hope is they will abandon the gender stereotypes of previous generations.
You mean like men are stupid and don't do anything and girls do all the work in the house? That kind of thing? Oh gosh, if only men were capable of answering a math question.
And value and embrace the equal sharing of household responsibilities. In order for women to advance in the workforce, we need to redistribute the housework.
No, women need to make choices for themselves just like men do to achieve or find whatever goals they want in life and work towards them. Cleaning my room, if I was being honest about it, took me all like 10 minutes. Mowing the lawn, 20. All my basic chores growing up could probably have gotten done within, say, the span of about an hour, hour and a half. It wasn't a lot. Our house wasn't exactly huge. My room wasn't exactly that complicated. That is a drop in the proverbial bucket towards the rest of my day or productivity. So, okay, yeah. Household work is the magic bullet to advance women in the workforce. Not education, not personal drive, not work ethic, not ambition, housework. Sorry, who's latching on to gender stereotypes there again?
Join me in making that happen. One son at a time.
What?
Maybe then it will not take 136 years to close the global gender gap. Thank you.
Boy, I'm not sold at all, but hey, there you go. All right, well, let's move on to the bingo card. Before I get to the bingo card, I'm going to try to bring in a few more comments here before I proceed. Assassin the Gray, she just admitted she hates her sons. Well, she expects her sons to, without her intervention, become useless blobs in their future households. Which I mean, mechanically speaking, that could be true. I mean, if the parents don't take a role in raising their children and teaching them the lessons for life, it's entirely possible. But her sons, just being male, have that default flaw in them that she already knows exists. Boy, oh boy. Let's see. Zeke Feist. No, I'm not joining you, Liddy. I got my own crazy. Well, that's probably true. Jay Melquist, one of her problems listening to the World Economic Forum. Yeah, no kidding. The World Economic Forum says, anybody who starts out with that these days, probably not. Keeverdam, takes me 45 minutes to mow my lawn. Well, do you live on a golf course? Sorry. I mean, don't get me wrong. My parents, when they moved to their first home after retirement, they had, it wasn't a lawn. It was like a field. So that sucker took a long time. It all depends on the lawn. The lawn I grew up with, was 20 minutes, half an hour at most. It wasn't exactly giant. I lived in the suburbs. Yeah, but if you live out in the country somewhere, out in the sticks, your lawn might take you a while. Just saying. And if you have extra space, that's great too. Okay, so I'm going to go over the bingo card one more time. Let me update it here so everybody can see it. And by the way, I did remember to circle the whole card ahead of time. All right, here we go. Self-vilification or wretchedness. No, she was the bestest at everything forever and ever, and everything else was a burden upon her. I didn't hear anything about her, reducing herself in any way for the sake of an argument. If you guys have an example. Word salad. Between the World Economic Forum and the statistics without any follow-up, and leaves out vital context. What kind of work were the 3/4 of mothers doing? Was it full-time or part-time? She never, ever, ever went over the potential just temporal plane causes of some of the issues or problems she was citing. And that alone tells me that she doesn't have as much of a basis for what she's talking about as she pretended that she did. White supremacy. She never talked about race. I'll give you that. She never talked about race. So now, gender wars stuff. Yes, we'll get to that momentarily. Privilege. I mean, there was plenty of implied male privilege going on there. The son's time is worth more than their daughter's, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to circle that one too. Sorry, let me update the card there. Oh boy, we're getting close, guys. Boy, oh boy. I mean, white supremacy might be the one that prevents us from getting near a blackout. But we'll see. Patriarchy. Oh, sorry, no. Sales pitch for product or service. Product or service. Well, I mean, she used her own team statistics a lot. I don't know. Thank you again, Matt Barnes. Scribe, this will blow your mind. 2 hours with a subcompact tractor, 5 feet deck to mow my lawn. My wife has never touched it, for the speaker. Okay, well, just to be clear, I was quoting my own growing up experience. Your lawn may vary. But still, holy cow, 2 hours. Yeah, that sounds like, you got a lot of space to run around in. I always wanted a big yard when I grew up. Something to run around in. Oh well, I was a suburban boy. Sales for product or service. She quoted McKinsey a couple of times, but I don't think she was pitching anything in particular. She didn't name anything. So, patriarchy. Oh yeah, men control everything. Men this, men that. Women can't do anything without men. Men are keeping women back simply by existing and not cleaning their rooms or something. Okay, circling that one. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm gonna say yes. You know why? Because she was talking about the lack of people who looked like her. That there used to be only 10% of whatever, and et cetera, and so forth. And that's changed, and so with that, if you can believe.
Oh, won't somebody please?
Bingo. B-I-N-G-O.
Okay!
Right?
We have our first bingo. Moving on. Marginalization. You think that women in general, their time isn't as valuable. They're being pushed to the side. They can't make it in the workforce without men. They're on the fringes, you guys, etc., so forth and so on.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Right?
Yeah!
Our second bingo. Oh my gosh, we got a couple of keystone squares left up here. Let's see what happens. Argumentative non sequitur. Argumentative non sequitur. I mean, the whole thing kind of felt like it, didn't it? But this is big here because this is another bingo square. All right, I already used the didn't see the same people of myself as the weightless example, so I believe that's what it was. So I'm hesitant to use that. Did she bring something up that never came up again? I might need some help with that one, guys. I'm sure there's a good argument for it, but I'm going to leave that one there. I don't want to take all the fun. And lastly, microaggressions, unconscious bias. Well, there was plenty of bias talk and how women are just seen as this and seen as that. And if nothing else, she was putting on display her own seemingly unconscious bias. And here's the thing. Having said that, I believe that is two bingos in one.
Give me a bingo, silly. One bingo only, please.
Right?
Yeah!
Bingo.
What?
Of course!
Holy cow, guys. This is one of the most filled up bingo cards we've had in a while. Okay, well, let's see. I got to keep count now because I'm starting to get kind of confuzzled here. Let me draw some lines so that we can all keep track of where we're at. So get your arguments for squares yet to be circled ready. There's not many left, but we'll check it out together here. So I'll give you a moment to do that while I draw some clear lines so we all know where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4 bingos so far. Yes, there we go. Okay, it's a little gaudy, a little Christmassy, but there we are. All right. So if you have arguments for squares yet to be circled, there have to be good ones. And if you've got one for white supremacy, I tell you what, you might be the hero of the day, but we'll see. All right, so start putting them in the chat now. Give it a couple seconds. Let's see. Programming note. Sunday stream. The Sunday stream. On Sundays, if you can believe it, at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, where I'll be talking about something. Don't know yet. I'll decide on Saturday, probably. Elsewise, oh, by the way, if you don't know about Matt Orchard, if you like true crime, you need to look up Matt Orchard on YouTube. He just has a new video out today about the case of Chandler Halderson, who is an idiot. You'll find out why if you watch his new video on the Matt Orchard Crime and Psychology channel, Crime and Society channel. I think it's psychology. It's Crime and Sociology. That's what it is. And there is the possibility. I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched, but there is the possibility that Matt Orchard may be joining me in a near future TED Excellence, wherein I will experience a TEDx of his choosing, sight unseen by me. Can't wait for that one. All right, Ebony Williams, thank you so much. Fun fact from the Snapple Cap: cows produce more milk when they listen to music. Huh. You know what? I bet if the calves would take up more of the housework, those cows would produce even more milk when they listen to music. Thank you, Ebony. All right, so let's see. Scribelight, was the dog an argumentative non sequitur? No, that was just part of the jokey anecdote. I need something else. Let's see. Bridget. It's not as if there was a popular psychologist who was telling boys to clean your room, bucko. I know I should know who you're referring to. Was it Dr. Ruth? Or was it Dr. Phil? You tell me. Scanner Daffley, is that the guy who ate his parents with his girlfriend? No, that's... I don't know who that is. What have you been reading, Daffley? No. Let's see. Oh, Jordan Peters. Oh, right. Clean your room. Yes. Lobsters. Yes. Hey, truth be told, as much as I've been told that I sound like his, cousin or something, I actually haven't listened to much Jordan Peterson. I know that might be blasphemy to some of you out there. But yes, aside from he and I being brothers in Kermit-voiced arms, I don't know. I don't know his stuff offhand, reflexively. Sarah Chapman says, I'm suddenly hungry. Because of the cow thing? Okay. Maybe I missed something. Probably. I'm not seeing any arguments here. Any arguments for squares to be circled, guys? Let's see what this is. T. Alexander, there was a scribelight who played a game. TEDx Bingo was its name. Oh. B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O. And TEDx Bingo. What was his name? Yeah, I didn't sing that. I should have. There was a scribe to play the game. TEDx Bingo was its name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and TEDx Bingo was its name. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, son, you don't seem to have the same voice to me. That's what I was told on Lords of the Night all the time. That I sounded like either Kermit the Frog and or Jordan Peterson. Right? It's not easy being Canadian. Something like that. Kiefer Dan, can't think of any other argument. I know, this is a tough one. So what we got? Self-vilification. No. White supremacy. No. Sales pitch for product or service. The closest I could come up with is maybe like she was advertising her services as a professor, sort of, but even then that really wasn't a focus. And if she had like a plan or an organization that she was, promoting to push these ideas on, then maybe, but an argumentative non sequitur, I'm sure there's got to be something in there that she brought up that had nothing to do with anything. Actually, you know what it is? I know what it is. It was her talking about being a track star. Right? What did that have to do with anything? The Title IX deal? What did that have to do with anything? You guys double check me on that. Remember when she brought up being part of a class action, a Title IX class action suit as an athletic star or something? Did she make a connection aside from just the sort of outward notion of gender disparity? Fam, 2 cents. Hey, Satsu. Satsu, you need to check your DMs if you haven't already. I think you might have missed something. There was a certain little group chat thing that happened the other day, and we hadn't heard from you. So take a look on your Twitter. I know you don't use Twitter as much as you used to, but you might want to take a look at that. Hope everybody's doing good. Squishy and the little one. Not so little anymore. She's getting good. Aaliyah's getting huge. Not like in a bad way. You know what I mean? No. But, man, every time I see a video of her, I'm just like, she's growing like a weed. Let's see. Nothing to see here. Scarlett, that's how she found her voice. Oh. What did that have to do with housework and sharing the distribution of labor in the household? You know what? I say nothing. I say it had nothing to do with her argument. I say it was out of place and weird and unnecessary because this is my show, dang it. And I say so. And so, as a consequence of that, if you can believe it, we have another double bingo.
Bingo.
What? Of course!
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Right?
Yeah!
So let me make sure I mark this here. We got that one across the bottom, and we have diagonal up to the top. I think that is it, guys. In all realistic terms, I don't think I can go any further without starting to really cheese things. Because yeah, she was the CEO of the household. There was no self-vilification. She never brought up race, and you could argue that her method or her pitch for changing this, that, or the other was a product or service, but it really wasn't. It was just a request. But there you go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bingos. That is a lot. We haven't had that many bingos in a long time. But there you have it. And I think we're at the end of our proverbial rope with that one. So yeah, congratulations to our speaker and her presentation for garnering 6 bingos. That's an honor of a kind, I suppose. But with that, everyone, I think I'm going to wrap things up here. I have to call Sister Scribe and find out what was so important that she had to call in the middle of my show, which I've been doing every Thursday for a couple of years now, and she knew that, or doesn't care. Actually, you know what? I don't think she cares. That's what it is. She doesn't care. She doesn't care about what I do, but maybe you do. And if you do, well, by the way, there's another TED Excellence next Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Maybe me by myself, maybe with a guest. We shall see. Time will tell. Again, Sunday stream, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on Sunday, if you can believe it. Check out Matt Orchard's channel and his latest video. I'm one of his main OG boosters from the good old days. Also, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I have now created a Substack newsletter. The link is in the description. It is a free subscription. I don't charge for anything. My first post is up there regarding the most interesting thing we found out listening to the officials from the University of Wisconsin-Madison a couple of weekends ago. If you missed that, well, the prime point you will find in that Substack. And the Substack is the Curriculum of Fear. I'm only going to be putting stuff regarding education on that one. If I find a reason to, I might start other Substacks for different subjects. And I promise I will not be spamming your inbox if you subscribe to my Substack. It'll be once in a while as I find reason to write, because I need to do more writing. That's what I've decided. But either way, everyone, thank you all for joining me this evening on this wonderful expedition into entertainment and education. I call it mind-boggling something. I try to make a joke there, but I fail. Thank you, Matt Barnes, again. Move to the East Coast, so these are earlier. Yeah, no. I am acclimated to where I am. I'll be surprised if I go anywhere else, relatively speaking, in my lifetime. But we shall see. Either way, everyone, thank you again for joining me. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things. Even though everyone here is so well behaved, you have very little to do. Everybody who donated, either to myself or to the GoFundMe's pinned to the top of the chat box, thank you so much for your generosity. I really do appreciate it. And I can feel the love. Well, screw you, Scribe. I don't hate the East Coast. I'm just used to where I am. Besides, left coast is the best coast. Hi, Ebony. Nice to see you. Everyone, have a good rest of your Thursday. Have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend ahead of you. I hope you are all safe and well. If you are not well, please get well soon. And I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Oops, that was me hitting the wrong button. Let's try that again.